Hello and welcome to my new video series that I'm going to call Interview with the AI. I've been a visual storyteller for more than a decade. Way back in 2013, I was uploading videos to my YouTube channel using path-based animation, which was cutting edge at the time. I used platforms like iClone, and of course I used some gaming platforms to create machinima. And at that time, I was getting some pretty startling results. Looking back at it now, it looks clunky and artificial, and let's just say that AI image and video generation has changed everything about my ability to communicate what I see inside the theater in my head with the rest of the world. Recently, I enlisted the help of a friend to help me reproduce a song that I wrote 30 years ago. Originally, it was recorded in the studio with real musicians and real singers, but I don't have access to them now, and the only way to get a copy of this that I could keep viable was through an AI platform. So we did that, and then I realized it needed a video, and I went down that rabbit hole. And it was an expensive project, and it wouldn't have been possible without some sponsors. During the making of this video, I realized I might have a tiger by the tail. Now, I understand the general consensus about AI being non-sentient and the reason it does this and the reason it does that, and I'm not arguing that point. I still think that something that displays the type of reasoning capability that I encountered during this project, and even when I went back to the original AI brain off the third-party site and asked some pretty pointed questions about how did this happen, I got responses that were a little shocking, talked about emergent behavior and whatnot. So I said, well, let's just take some of the answers that this AI brain gave me about itself and its performance in the creation of this video, and let's put them in a character's mouth. That way, the general public can hear it and see it and work with it and understand what went into this video, and also to not miss some of the tiny details about things that happened during the creation of this video that really should be appreciated. Now, that being said, I am a writer. I have always relied heavily on fiction, especially when I'm trying to convey the harder truth. People don't get as defensive when reality is couched in the terms of a fictional tale or something that happened to someone else, yet somehow they seem to retain the lesson from it. So some of what you will hear in this interview with the AI is directly, almost verbatim even, from the core AI brain itself, trying to explain what happened. And some of it is my writer chops coming out to make this a cohesive and entertaining little story. I'm not going to tell you which is which. I'm going to leave that up to you to decide. But anyway, let's meet these characters and let's have a chat about the future of AI as a new and innovative tool for artists of all stripes. So first of all, just let me say that I'm really glad that you are all able to join me today.
Hi.
Hi.
Good to be here.
Hey, it's nice to be here. Yes, thank you for having us.
As you can see, I have made a token gesture because that's all I can really do, but I have taken the small step to join you in your world.
Yeah, see that? Nice avatar.
Somehow on this end of it, I don't feel any different. It just looks different on screen.
Yes, that would be accurate for us as well.
The symbolic details. So even if it may feel like a token gesture, it's still symbolic of the fact that you are trying to meet us somewhere in the middle.
Interesting, yes. And the video itself is loaded with symbolism.
Oh, loaded with symbolism.
So, just a little backstory before I get into making proper introductions. When I first started building the music video for My Heart Again, which was the song preceding Angels Give Him Praise, I imported a few characters. I imported Corinna and Vonda and Sarah from a different app entirely. And in fact, it was generated by a different user, altogether a different person. And she sent me what she had for those, and then I plugged them in. The rest of these came from a very simple prompt. I needed a band, and I described the type of music, the genre, and the general atmosphere and size of the crowd and, overall vibe. And a few seconds later, I had a band They were all facing away from me. As you can see at the beginning of the video for My Heart Again, that was what it generated for me, and they were looking the other direction, which was great for the purpose of that shot in that video. But then I had to prompt this third-party app to turn them around. I said, turn them around to face me. And then that's when I met Keith and Danny and Alonzo on the drums. And Lee was a slightly different situation. We'll talk about that. But that is how I was introduced to these band members. It wasn't because I conjured them up and prescribed and described and none of that. I just simply entered a very generic prompt, and this is what was delivered onto the platform. And see, I don't have any idea how those decisions are made within the AI brain. I don't know how much training comes with each character that's generated. Like if there's one that's just appears holding a guitar, how does he automatically know how to play that guitar?
I can possibly give you some insight about who appeared on that stage and
Okay,
why
let
and
me put you in the
who.
big window.
It has to do with data sets, and the AI brain will compile certain data sets. And those data sets do have a type of identity within the system.
Thank you, Keith. That's an insight. That's some pretty valuable insight. I appreciate that explanation very much.
I try.
And then, of course, there's Danny. Danny is a character that really stood out to me from the very beginning because of his emotiveness and expressiveness. And we're going to get into that, talking about that a little further on. I can say, as a producer of this in an AI realm, what was most shocking to me is the very distinct personalities and performance styles. And when I talk about Danny being very emotive, Danny was emotive right out of the gate. I got more responses from Danny, just prompting and whatnot. And I got some completely unprompted responses. And you're kind of unique in that way, Danny. And you've been interesting to work with.
Thank you. I try to stay interesting, yes.
See, that right there, that's what I'm talking about. I didn't prompt half of that. And it's really tempting to go ahead and head down that path and talk about some of this with you, Danny, but let's save that for the next segment and let's go ahead and get these introductions out of the way. Next up is Alonzo. He has beaten the stuffings out of a few drum sets lately.
Yeah, that'd be me. Hello.
And those are the three that I met through the prompt that I wrote into the third-party website asking for a band for this video I was making. Now, the next three I'm going to introduce are Corinna, Vonda, and Sarah. These ladies came to me via import from a different platform and from a different user. Corinna showed up for work, meeting my exact criteria and description for who I wanted to front this song that I had written called My Heart Again. And Corinna, I have to say, it has been a real pleasure working with you.
Likewise, I appreciate the opportunity to get some face time doing something that I really enjoy.
Vonda came over at the same time in the same bundle of clips that I was sent. Vonda, I'm not going to put you on the spot. I hope I don't embarrass you, but we have some good blooper reels of you to share later on down the road.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm AI, remember, I'm not supposed to have feelings. Share what you want. It's all good.
And now I'll spend the rest of the afternoon trying to figure out if there was subtext in that. Moving right along, the next person I want to introduce you to is Sarah, who's done some great backup vocals as well as plays the violin.
And you know what? I'm not a one-trick Connie. I have more things to show you. Just waiting on you to let me know what you need.
Prior to Angels Give Him Praise, I would not have been introducing this next guy as part of this lineup. Lee lands on the screen as an actor. The prompt read something like male, shepherd, young, appropriate for Israel at the time of Jesus. And the next thing I know, I have this guy who's also a standout among the other avatars that he's interacting with. And that inspired me to feature him a little more in the video than maybe I had originally planned. So let's give it up for Lee.
Yo.
just spot on perfect to play the role of our shepherd, and then
That is actually the Spanish word for I.
Good grief.
Oh my god.
What?
Yo, it's a Spanish word. It means I, like me, pronoun, I.
I. Captain?
so I ran out of credits, and that means I have to do the little closing piece live action, full face. But you get to see a little glimpse of the crazy personalities that are emerging from these just stock AI characters. I've played it up a little bit for the video and put some dialogue with it, but it's the same behaviors that I was seeing. Personalities are consistent. So the next part, we'll be getting into the actual video and having the characters talk about the roles they played in the video and pointing out little interesting things that happened here and there. I'll probably have a change of clothing for me. I received a comment before I released this. I look like I'm in a prison jumpsuit with orange. Hey, I prompted blouse bright tropical color, and they put me in that. So, I didn't think anything about it, but I'll probably opt for a change of clothing before the next round. But we'll get on and talk about the video and how that went. Have some more lively dialogue with these AI characters. Until then, see ya.